Hi guys, Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Thank you guys so much for stopping by our channel. We love to design all kinds of wreaths, centerpieces, faux floral arrangements, all the things, sometimes a few fake bakes. So we're so glad to have you. Today we are going to be designing this beautiful Valentine's floral grapevine wreath. So I think it turned out beautiful. This is going to be our project for today. If you haven't already subscribed, we would love to have you. Please hit that little subscribe and that little notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we have a new tutorial. We also have our members only exclusive group. We would love to have you guys over there. If you're enjoying these tutorials, if you'll join our exclusive membership group, you'll get a couple extra tutorials every month that is only for the membership group. So we would love to have you. Just hit that little join button, and we'll see you over there. Now let's go ahead and get started. Hi guys, today we are going to be making a Valentine's wreath. So this is going to be a grapevine. So let me go over a few of the supplies that we're going to be using. So I have a 16-inch grapevine wreath base. You can get these from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. You can get them online. I know Deco Exchange sometimes has them. So this is a 16-inch round. So we're going to be using this. We're going to be using our metal glitter heart here. So that's going to go on. I brought in a few different greeneries. I'm not sure yet all what we're going to use. We'll probably use a little bit of everything. But I just have some of this boxwood. I brought in some of our Ficus leaves. I brought in one of our mini Ficus leaf branches. So they're both Ficus, but they're just slightly different. Okay, I brought in some of our PeeGee Hydrangea. So we might use a little bit of that. I have our red Bush. And then we're going to use some of our red Ranunculus. And then I just have two little rose stems I think we're going to use. Those are just left over from another project. And then we're just going to bring in a little bit of Valentine's Day ribbon with our 1.5. So these will be our supplies that we're going to be using today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start getting our sign attached to our wreath. So let me put you down. Let's see. Kind of got a little bit of a shadow in here today from the light coming in the windows. So I'm just going to be attaching our metal sign. I don't want it sticking, way out here. I want it kind of tucked in to our wreath. It can hang over just a little bit, but not too much. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want to attach it. And we're going to be using these cable tie mounts. So I just get these off at Amazon. You can probably get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, any of the hardware stores. But I just order mine off of Amazon. So these are little cable tie mounts. And I'm going to get a little bit of super glue. So I know I want one right about here. Okay, so, and we need to take these off. This does come with a little hanger, but we may not use it just because of the placement. Okay, so I know I want one right about here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of our super glue there. And then I'm going to attach our cable tie mount. I will add a little bit of hot glue, but you don't want to just rely on the hot glue because this is metal and it can peel right off. But I'm just going to put this on there while our super glue dries. Okay, let me go ahead and take our tag off. All right, now let's kind of see where, so I know I've got it right here. one right at the top, right about in here. So again, I'm just going to add a little drop of super glue. They do have sticky backs, but I would not trust it by itself. We need reinforcement just to make sure it's not going to come off. Okay, and let's do one more at the bottom. Okay, so I've got here, I've got here, and let's get one right here at the bottom. And then while that dries, we'll let that get nice and dry. We'll make our bow. Okay, so I want a nice loopy bow in here that's going to sit right in this area with some tails. I don't know if we'll add tails over here, but we can add them separately. So let's just plan on a nice loopy bow here. So let me get out my bow maker. And I'm just using the one ribbon today. Okay, so let's measure how long we want our tail. I'm going to leave a little bit long. We can always cut it down. So probably about right there. So that is about a 17-inch tail. I'm going to put this in and twist. I need to tighten up my pegs there. Okay, I'm going to go out to about the, let's go to the 7 and twist. I'm going to go to the 7 over here and twist. Okay, now we're going to come in about a 1/2 inch. So we're going to go to about the 6.5, twist. Let's go to 6.5 over here. Okay, now let's go to the 6. When I say to the 6, my little bow maker has little numbers on it, so that's what I'm going to. Go to the 6 over here, twist. Let's do a 7 loop bow. So I'm going to do one more loop on this side. We're going to go about to the 5.5. And twist. Now I don't know if I'm going to want this tail. I'll leave it for now. We may cut it down. I'm just going to cut it a little shorter. Okay, and that's it for our ribbon for now. Go ahead and put it up. And I'm going to grab a pipe cleaner. Use pipe cleaner or a zip tie. Actually, I'll use my zip tie and pipe cleaner to go around into the grapevine. Pick it up and I'm just going to kind of run it to the middle. I'm going to run this pipe cleaner through. Actually, I want it to go this way, so I'm going to just tie this off. And I'm just using the zip tie just to get a little bit tighter. You don't have to, you can just use the pipe cleaner, but I want my bow to sit this way. I want it to sit this way instead of this way. That makes sense. So I'm going to wrap my pipe cleaner around the back, just twisting it. Okay, so I'm just twisting. I'm going to just twist these together so it can go into our grapevine. Like I said, we may cut that tail off, but we'll see. We'll see if we want to use it. So it's going to sit in here. We'll fix the bow up once we get it on there. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Well, actually, before we do that, I'm going to twist this onto this. Just going to twist it onto this floral pick here. And let me add some glue. And I'm going to let that dry for a second. While that's drying, I'm going to get the easel and we'll hang this up. And we'll go ahead and get started on our base. Okay, I forgot to attach our sign before we hang it up on the easel. So let's go ahead and attach our sign. So we're going to be using some pipe cleaners. And I thought I had 3 red ones, but I do not. So we'll just use what we have. I'm just going to run them through our cable tie mounts. Okay, and this will probably be the hardest part of our tutorial here, is getting this sign attached with these pipe cleaners. Sometimes they do not like to go through. So let me see, I think I have some needle nose pliers. Sometimes that'll help. Okay, so let's get where our placement again is. Let's go ahead and put this one in first. So I'm just going to run our pipe cleaners through this grapevine. Just trying to feed it through there. Flip it over. I'm going to get my needle nose pliers, pull this up. Just twist it off. Before I cut it, let me make sure we don't have to move it. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to run it through. Flip it over. I make sure this is straight. Okay, and then the bottom one. make sure. Okay. I need to pull this down just a hair because I don't like the way it's sitting. So this needs to come down just a little bit. So let me get this bottom one in how I want it. Let me double check. That's better. It's pulled down a little further, so let me twist tie this again. This is why I didn't want to cut it. And then let's move this one down just a hair. I'm just using my needle nose pliers to reach down in there and grab that pipe cleaner. Okay, now let's check. Okay, that's better. Don't worry about this showing. We're going to cover it up with our greenery. Okay, so let me go ahead and retie this one a little tighter. And we'll cut it down and we'll add a little bit of our hot glue in there. Okay, there we go. Let's add a little bit of our hot glue. And we can always take a little bit, if you want to cover a little bit of that up, just take a little bit of your Spanish moss. Just kind of push down on that. And cover that up a little bit. That's optional. You don't have to. I mean, we try to cover our mechanics, but they're, you know, you're going to have some stuff that you might see. I'm going to add a little bit more here. I just stuck my fingers right in that, so that didn't work. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to hang it up on the easel and we'll finish it out. Okay, so we have it up on our easel. Let's go ahead and get our bow added. So I know I don't need my pick that long, so let me cut it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to dip it in my glue pot. And I think we're going to do our bow right about here. Okay, before I start messing with it too much, I want to let that glue sit. Let me add a little bit more in here. Okay, so let's let that set and dry, and we'll come back and fix our bow in just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on getting our foundation, our base set on our grapevine. I'm going to move my phone over here just so I can make sure that I keep you guys in a good view. That way I can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go in with our ficus leaf branch, and we're going to set our base. Okay, so let me get the tag off. I apologize, I should have done this before. Okay, We have some family coming in today. We're going to do our family Christmas. We're doing it after Christmas. Okay, anyway, so I was trying to get this done before everybody got here, and I got ahead of myself and didn't get my tags cut off. Okay, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a bend. And let's kind of get our placement for where I want this. Okay, I like that. So when I was first starting off doing my grapevines, I struggled with having this kind of stick up and be airy. I was under the impression I needed to have everything like flat right up against the grapevine. And that is definitely not the case. You want everything nice and full and flowy. So I'm going to leave that one in there, and I'm going to get my glue gun. So don't be afraid to have stuff coming up out of your grapevine, okay? So let's get another one. I brought in, I think, 3 of these. And we can always cut it down a little bit too if we don't want to use the whole stem. I wanted to use the whole stem here. Now my bow will be our transition point, so we're going to start coming down with our greenery. So let me cut this down. They come in such long stems, and that's if, you know, the reason for that is in case you wanted to use them in a vase, something like that. So I'm going to go in. We're going to give this a bend. Now this one we may need to push it in a little bit further. Okay, so let me get that glued, and then we're going to add a little zip tie just to kind of keep this one. I don't want it, you know, way out here. I do want to bring this in a little bit. So I'm just going to get a zip tie and kind of zip tie one of these branches right there. And that will just kind of help hold it in a little bit. I'm just going to turn that part of the zip tie in towards the grapevine. Just going to give this a little bit, kind of shape it how we want it. Okay, and I'm going to go in with my last one. And I think I'm going to, let's see, we may cut this one, but let's not get this tag off. There it goes. Nope, we'll leave it. We'll leave it all one piece. Okay, so I'm going to cut the stem down. And I'm giving it a little bit of a bend. Giving the stem a little bit of bend. I'm going to go right up underneath our bow. Okay. And I'm going to have it nice and flowy down here. So let me get my glue. I'm going to hit that stem with that glue there. Now let's we can kind of play with our loops here a little bit. So I kept this tail in case I wanted to kind of come up with it. Maybe do like a little roller coaster. Let me see. I think I'm going to cut it. I don't think I want the tail on it. So I'm just going to cut it right up by the zip tie. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this at a slant. I'm not going to dovetail it today. Now we're going to add some greenery right around our bow. So I'm going to go in with our mini ficus leaf branch here, and we are going to cut these pieces off. Okay, so I'm going to cut these down, and that's going to give us, I chunk those tags in the trash while I need them for my supply list. So we're going to cut these down, and that'll give us a few different stems. So you can get a few different pieces out of this one. I'm going to keep this one long just in case we want it long. Okay. So I want to go right around our bow area. I am going to cut this shorter. Just dip it in my glue. And I'm going to come right up here. Right out of our bow right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to cut it shorter. Come right up top, right behind the bow. And kind of give it a bend. Looks like it's kind of coming in our bow there. Let's go on this side over here. Again, I'm going to cut the stem down because I don't need it long. Okay, so we have, and we can kind of bend it how we want it. I'm going to come right in the center of our bow. Let's get this littler piece. Right up under here. Look how pretty that is. All kind of flowing in and out of our bow. I think I want to do a piece right there. It's already beautiful. So let's do a piece right in here. Get it in there. There we go. Okay. So we've kind of created our base here. We've got some pretty ficus kind of weaved in and out of our little bow loops, and we've set our perimeter. Set our perimeter there for our wreath. Okay, let's go in now with, sorry guys, I need to get a drink with, let's go in with our filler flower. Yes, so this is our red filler flower. They come in different colors. I think we still have some of these available. And this is our red. I'm just going to pull it apart. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it, and it's going to give us 3 different sections. Okay. And you can just take and wrap one of the wires around just to kind of keep it together. We're going to put our first one sort of right up in here. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a bend. And come down a little further into that heart. Let me get my glue gun. I'm not going to try to pull that back out, so I'm just going to hit it with the glue while it's in there. I'm going to let it set. Once that glue dries, we can mess with it some more. Okay, let's get our other piece here. I cut the wire down just a hair. Let's go in right in the back here. So right back there, I went straight up with that, straight down into that grapevine. Let's add our glue, and then we'll come back to it in a minute and fluff it up. Okay, let's take another piece here. Now we're going to start going down. Going to cut this down because I don't need my stem that long. Get that with the glue. Let's let it dry, and then we will mess with it some more. Let me take a look and see if I want to add another piece. I think we want to add some right here and maybe down, giving it some length. So let's go ahead and break up one more. So we'll use 2 of these. Okay, I'm going to keep this one longer because we're going to come down and give it some length. So I want to come over on the inside towards the center of this grapevine. So I'm going to hit it with our glue here. Okay, and let's get our longer piece. And I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. And let me see exactly how long I want it. Okay, so we're going to leave it right about there. Go ahead and hit it with the glue. Okay. Now let's we can go back up now and start kind of shaping our greenery, shaping this. We want to try to weave it in and out. So I'm just going to kind of weave some pieces in and out of that ficus. I'm going to give these a little twist. You can shape these little things. Let's do this one. I'm just kind of twisting this around that ficus, and that's going to kind of help hold it. Twist these, give them a little shape. This one. So I can hang this a little straighter for you guys. So that's what we have. Okay, so now let's get some of our flowers added. So I brought in, these were just 2 little rose pieces that I had left from another project. So I think I want to get these added. I'm going to put one, I think, right kind of here. And then let's add one up at the top. Find the spot. There we go. So go in and add some glue there. Okay, and now I brought in, let's add a couple of these PeeGee Hydrangea pieces. So I'm going to cut this up into, you get 3 stems out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these up. Do one right there. Okay, let's get one sort of right behind the bow. I don't need my stem that long. Okay. Let's get one out to the side here, filling in right there. So I'm going to cut it down. don't like the way that was going in right there, so let's try to push it in right there. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with the glue since I kind of moved it. Okay, so we've got 3 here. Let's go ahead and cut up one more. So we're going to get 3 more pieces. I want to come on this side. I think I want it tucked a little closer to the bow, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I'm going to come right up in there. Let's add another one, maybe right up underneath this little rose bush or rosebud. Sorry guys, this keeps kind of moving on me here. It's gonna look a little crooked, but okay, let's go in right up under here, more towards the center, and kind of have it hang down like that. Let's get, is that our last piece? Okay, that was our last piece. So we've kind of got a triangle here. We have a triangle here. We have a triangle here, triangle here. So we've got our kind of our triangle pattern. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. Okay. Now, let's go in with a few of our ranunculus bushes. Okay, so I'm going to cut up a few of these. And before I cut the stems too short, let me just kind of see where I want them. I think I want one kind of hanging down there, so I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of a bend. I'm going to keep the stem long. We're going to go right up in to our grapevine. I'm going to have that one kind of hanging down like that. You can give it a bend, kind of get the a little bit more of the flower head to face out. Okay, let's go in with another one. I think right in there. So I'm going to cut the stem on this one just a little bit. giving the stem a good bend so that we can just weave it up into that grapevine. We don't want it to go straight out because it will come out the back of your grapevine. Okay, and then I'm just kind of bending the stem to get my flower head how I want it. Beautiful. Now, I don't like the leaves on these, so I always just pull the leaves off. Okay, let's go in right above our little bow there. Now, in hindsight, I should have made these loops a little bigger. We could have gone a little bit bigger on the loops, but it still looks beautiful. Okay, let's go in with another one. Maybe right back here. Okay, so I'm going to go straight up and down with it, and then just give it a little bit of a bend. So we won't use a whole bush. You'll have a few little stems left over. Let's put one right up in there. Okay, let me step back and I think maybe one right here. I'm going to come in with one more right in here. We're going to add a little bit of boxwood in there, so I think that'll tuck in nicely. So right there. And then we're going to add some of our little boxwood as filler, and then we are going to be done. So turning out so pretty. Okay. So lastly, we have our boxwood, and we're just going to add some of this as just kind of the filler. Now this one is not a pusher bush, so if you want one, we have we have a couple boxwoods. This one is like the seeded boxwood, I think. It doesn't say. We do have another boxwood that is a pusher. And when I mean pusher, it means you can push these up and make it more clumped together. These are going to stay kind of long. Okay, and so we're going to just tuck in a few pieces of our boxwood in here. I'm going to actually cut this one. So you can cut them. I'm going to cut them in half. So I've got I've got two like smaller pieces, okay? And I'm gonna sort of start tucking these. And fill them in, and that will help hide some of our little mechanics too. I'm going to cut that one in half. just going to come up underneath here, add in a little bit of that boxwood. Go back behind. That's just going to help fill that in. So I'm going to cut another one in half so I have 2 smaller pieces. I'm going to come right in sort of the middle of our bow there. You fix your loops however you want. Just playing around with it. Okay. Now I think I'll keep this one all in one piece. One right in the back there. Okay, I'm going to keep one piece right here. It looks like we have a little bit of a hole. So I'm just going right straight back there. Okay, let's get another one right behind. Want it kind of right in there. I'm going to cut it down just a hair. We're going to get it right there. Okay, and I'm just going to start kind of going around the side. Let's get one more. I'm going to come in, we're going to start making our transition down. So I'm going to give this one a little bit of a bend. Still going to leave this piece long. I'm going to kind of put it right next to that other one, but we're going to start kind of bending it down. Okay, I'm going to go in with, I'm going to cut one in half and I'm going to go in with a shorter piece. I have some mechanics that I want to try to hide right here. So that's what this boxwood is good for, is to kind of hide our mechanics, hide where we've got maybe some glue spots that are heavier, and we want to hide that up, cover that up. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go in, I'm going to lift this ficus up, and I'm going to bring this boxwood in, trying to see if I want to leave it long or cut it. I think I'm going to cut it. Use it more as filler. closer to the, using it as filler closer to the grapevine. Go. And I'm gonna go right up in here. I'll leave this piece longer since we have kind of our long flowy pieces down here at the bottom. I'm going to leave that piece longer. Okay, we have 2 more pieces. I want to come right up in here and kind of cover, I want to cover this stem that we had coming long. I want to help cover up that stem part that has the paper. So I'm going to come right up in here. And help cover up that stem. Oh, we have more than one. I've got another piece right here. So now we have 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to come up underneath here. Kind of fill in that area right there. Careful not to pull too hard, you'll pull those leaves right off of there. Okay, I think I want a piece right here. There we go. We may want to add one more of our ranunculus down. Thinking I want one more down towards the bottom. Okay, I think we're done. I will hang it up and take pictures. If there's anything that any holes, I'll fill them, but I think it turned out beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Valentine's grapevine using our metal sign, our little loopy bow, and all the goods. Until next time, bye guys.